So my blood sugar was kind of stubborn this morning. I had shot up to like 150 and then it kind of rose to 170 something, 180 something. Dexcom said I was 180. My finger stick said I was 170. So both of those things are within the correct accuracy to dose. So I gave myself a 1-unit correction without even eating anything. And now I'm starting to come down. The arrow hasn't dropped, but I am down into the 160 range, 168 and steady. So at least I'm coming down slowly. We don't want to go crashing down, so hopefully these blood sugars will behave better later today. Hi everyone, it's Maddie. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you checked out the Thanksgiving Type 1 Diabetes Edition video I just put up about an hour ago, so please go check that out if you haven't already, or if you're busy with Thanksgiving, feel free to check that out anytime you'd like. But today is Thanksgiving Day, so again, I'll wish everybody a happy and blessed Thanksgiving. Today is November 22nd, 2018, and I am here for day 22 of Diabetes Awareness Month. So without further ado, let's jump into today's question. So today's question is, what are the different types of methods used to administer insulin, and what type do you currently use, and do you hope to change methods in the future? Yes, there's so many different ways that one can give ourselves insulin into our body. The most interesting one, I think, is inhaled insulin. I've actually never tried it, but some people find if they inhale their insulin, it avoids really nasty blood sugar spikes. I believe that's Afresa. I think that's the type of insulin that is inhaled. Correct me if I'm wrong. But some people find it that don't really enjoy the injections or have really hard control with diabetes through injections or through pumps, find that inhaled insulin works for them. And then the other three types of methods I'm going to talk about are vial and syringe, insulin pens, and insulin pumps. Vial and syringe is probably the most basic of all the injectable type insulin ways to administer insulin. I only used this method for about 3 days in the hospital. I kind of want to do a video comparing what it's like insulin in a syringe and vial versus insulin in a pen, and kind of how they work, and what do I think some of the pros and cons are between the both of them, so I will do that. But basically, I'll explain for you that don't really know what insulin vial and syringe is. There's a vial of insulin that kind of sits in a little tiny, like a vial, like a little tiny, like, tube, small little, like, bottle. And you literally put a syringe in, fill it with air, and then you flip it upside down and draw the amount of insulin that you need out, and then you give yourself the shot with the one-time use of that syringe. You dispose of that syringe in a sharps container, and you keep using that vial until it's completely emptied or until it's past that 30-day expiration time. So that's a basic vial and syringe. I personally didn't care for it. It was just kind of tedious and annoying. But again, everybody's different. Some people prefer it. Some people, that's all they've ever known, and they just stick to it. Again, whatever works for you, works for you. But then we'll turn into what I use to administer my insulin for my injections. I use Insulin Pens. And I've been on these since I've been out of the hospital. They immediately put me on these. For these, you don't have to worry about drawing up insulin out of a little vial. You use either a pre-filled pen. Like this one is disposable, but I will be switching to an indisposable pen soon. And with an indisposable pen, they have up to 300 to 900 units, depending on what concentration you get. My pens are only filled up 300 units because I don't need a heavily concentrated insulin. And with those, you use these until it's all empty, or if it goes past 30 days, then you discard whatever little bit is left. The nice thing is, too, with these, you don't even have to think about watching a number on a syringe. You can literally, if I need 4 units of insulin, I can literally dial to 4, put a needle on, give myself the shot, and it'll spin back down to 0, and that's that. Nice thing about these is you really don't have to worry about like throwing away a ton of like syringe garbage. The only thing you're really disposing of in a biohazard container is the needle, which is a clean needle, but you place it on top of that and you just change the needle out, which I think is kind of nicer on the environment, or nicer on the places that have to properly dispose of all the biohazard stuff. And the other way to administer insulin is through a pump, and you would typically use Typically with a pump, you change it out every 3 days. You insert a needle or a cannula into your body that stays in there for about 72 hours or 3 days, and you are hooked up via a tube or not a tube, depending on what type of insulin pump you have, and it literally will drip insulin into your body. Is basically an infusion set that you change every 3 days. So again, it depends on what works for people. The pumps are a little more convenient. Sometimes they can be a little more automatic if you get ones that have more like an auto mode or that control kind of your basal rate. That control your basal rate based upon your blood sugars and that connect with a continuous glucose monitor. So that kind of stuff is neat. Do I hope to switch methods in the future? Yes. I don't mind doing these injections with a pen. It's definitely, if I had to continue doing these with a syringe and vial, I probably would get sick and tired of it, but I don't really mind the pens. But hopefully within the near future, I'll be switching to a pump. There's 3 different main pump companies. There's Medtronic, there is Omnipod, and T-Slim. There are others out there, but those are the 3 major ones that I'm sure that I'll be introduced to. And between all those 3, I'm debating between Omnipod, which is a tubeless or a wireless insulin pump that is controlled with a PDM or a remote control like device called a personal diabetes manager. There's the T-Slim, which is a tubed pump that is kind of looks like a little tiny smartphone, very technological. A tube would be hooked up to you and you would change it out every 3 days. And the T-Slim, the nice thing with that is it would integrate with my Dexcom G6. So I'm debating between which ones I want to do. I'm going to do more videos as I get closer to deciding which one I do. And then maybe I do a video deciding, showing which one I decided upon and why. But anyways, I think this sums up today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and comment down below what types of ways you use to administer insulin. I'm curious to know. As always, if you get me to 100 subscribers, I will do a diagnosis story. Give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Turn on the little notification bell down in the corner next to the subscribe button so you never miss when I upload a new video. Until tomorrow for day 23 of Diabetes Awareness Month, take care, God bless, spread positivity, be kind, and be thankful. Bye, everybody.